Okay, y'all, so stick with me for this. This is going to have a couple things mixed in together. Something that I keep thinking about, and it goes back to the word I just recently reshared, which was pressure creates diamonds and fire refines gold. And I had made that video, recorded that video maybe in 2021, 2022 at the latest. Excuse me. And in the video, I talk about how I learned, like, if you want a colored jewel, it undergoes an immense amount of pressure, like a lot of pressure to get a colored jewel. And the reason we were talking about that in that video is because I had been talking to the Lord about, like, my crown and, like, the diamonds in it and what he was bestowing upon me. And I was like, my crown rose gold, ain't it? Like, and my diamonds is pink. And he was telling me you had to go through a lot of pressure, right? And so, like I said, being on the flip side of what I just came out of, it's like, oh, okay, this makes sense, because that was a lot of pressure. But even when you think about it, diamonds are resilient. So, and I remember praying for resilience in 2019. I will not forget that. I was crying on the floor in my apartment, prayed for resilience. I don't know why I prayed for that, but God has answered that prayer, okay? And so, understanding you got to go through an immense amount of pressure. Something else. This time, 4 years ago, I was looking at engagement rings. Don't know who needs that. I don't think that's coincidental. It was this time last year. This time 4 years ago, I was looking at engagement rings, and I reshared it to my Snapchat because I was like, why was I looking at engagement rings? That's crazy to me. 4 years ago, what had led me to look at engagement rings? But besides that, God talks to me often about, like jewelry and being iced out. And, that's part of the lifestyle when you talk about, certain lifestyles. That's part of the lifestyle. I think that's what draws people to that, the bags and everything. But y'all know on my channel, we kind of different. Like, I recognize that goes down in that arena, right? I recognize that's kind of given in that arena. But first and foremost, I feel like that spiritually, the Lord gonna always make sure my hair done, right? And that's just, like my wisdom, my crown, all that. He's gonna make sure that is in check. He pays the bill to make sure that's in check. He's always gonna make sure I got all the bags I want, that I'm in the bag, and got the bag, and he is the bag, right, that fills all the other bags. We've talked about all that. We've talked about success. We've talked about the watches and what they represent. And so me and God just been talking about being iced out like for a week. I'm like, why do me and you keep talking about this? Like, this is crazy, because in the spirit realm, he does that for us. I've been real big on, like, buy me a house, boy, if you want to be with me. I want my man to buy me a truck. All these things we've talked about, like, God does that. He gives us the vehicles to go to these different places, to arrive, to travel. He does that. He puts us in the place. I've seen my house in the spirit. It don't look like the house I live in real life, right? I think one day maybe my house will look like that in real life, but I've seen how I'm living in the spirit, and it's been like that since 2020. Okay, but the Lord has been talking to me about that. It's a level of iced out and jewelry and stuff he give you, and it's a different type of success. It speaks for itself. You walk in the room, we don't feel when we walk in the room. We don't see what that looks like. We don't know what that looks like. When we're not confident in who we are, whose we are, we don't have eyes to see, ears to hear. You don't know that when you walk in the room. Like, you don't understand why people be acting so weird. And I'm talking to myself, because you don't know what it looks like or what it feels like to be in your presence. Real life princess, right? Like, you walking in, and that's the energy that you give, and everybody don't be around that. Everybody not used to that. Everybody not carrying that themselves. But I'm not going to get distracted with that point. But that's just what he was talking to me about. And I know he does that for me. Oh, that's the other word I was supposed to be releasing. Should I do that separate? I'm going to do it separate. I need to pull that thought over here. And so he's just been talking to me about that. Okay, rewind. For my birthday, my sister bought me Pink Ice, the perfume. Okay, if y'all are familiar with that, that was a Route 21 sent out, and baby, I wore it down in high school. Do you hear what I'm saying? And so all of a sudden, we're feeling nostalgic, and she's like, I'm getting some Pink Ice. And I was sad because I didn't go with her, because Route 21 was going out of business, all that, and I didn't get to get one. So she ended up giving it to me for my birthday. Haven't opened it until last week. And I was like, Pink Ice. Oh, that's crazy, because you've been talking to me about icing me out. We always talked about the pink diamonds, Lord. And literally the scent is Pink Ice. So every time I smell it in the last week, it just takes me back. And I thank God, because it's stuff I made a reel. And I was like, I've been dating since I was 15 years old. I've been having the same problems since I was 15. This is around the time I would have been wearing that Pink Ice down, right? And he's restoring the things, my self-worth, the value in things that I lost going way back then. Not just the narcissistic boyfriend, not just the experiences the last decade, even way back then. Like, I feel like my introduction to romance was trash. Like, with a man. You get what I'm saying? And so the reason I'm sharing all this, because I didn't realize it. And he keeps bringing so many things to my attention. And I'm like, I didn't even know that's what you were showing me. In 2020, I kept dreaming. And I mean kept dreaming. Like, you been rich. Because I was thinking about that this morning too. I was born rich. I just ain't got my payment yet. That's Pooh Shiesty. In 2020, I kept dreaming somebody was trying to break in and rob me and my husband. I knew me and my husband was in love. I knew he had my back. This is 2020. I hadn't experienced no type of nothing for real at that point. And I remember it was killers trying to break in and rob us. I knew we lived in like a mansion. Like, and the house has only gotten bigger over the years that I see in the spirit. But they were trying to come and run up, you know, like where the safe be and where the jewelry be. And we were trying to hide. And I feel like they tried to kill my husband. And when I thought about it last night, I was like, the enemy has always tried to kill you out of my life. And you're the man who truly puts me up in a respectful, loving way. You take care of me. You give me anything I could want. You love me. You be here. You be, like, you get what I'm saying? And the enemy been trying to kill you out my life. And I remember one dream in particular, I was sad and I was like crying because they was like, oh my God, they killed him. But God, Jesus don't say that. Like, and I remember feeling hopeful, like wanting to feel hopeful. Like, why would they kill the love of my life? Why would they run up in here, kill the love of my life, and rob me? Right? Like, that's crazy. And leave me here without him. And I knew the thief wanted me too, though. Like, it was very weird how I dreamt that. It was giving movie, and I was waking up having low-key, like, panic attacks. Like, I didn't like those dreams. I was having those back then. Now, granted, you dating a narcissist, he for sure finna do that to you. Okay? He finna kill all that out your life. Okay? Let's just start there. But I remember still trying to be so hopeful, like, he come back to life, right? Like, surely he don't die. I've had multiple dreams about that, okay? And I just want to let y'all know that I don't know what God did to me, in me, this last year with all this stuff that's been going on, but I thank him. I promise I do. I never would have became this version of me. I never would have saw things the way that I see them now. I never would have had these different things break off of me if he did not put me underneath the pressure. See, the enemy was trying to kill me. God had another thing in mind, but I never would have got to this space. And I'm so grateful. I don't care who I lose. I don't care who can't come, because I prayed to be this version of Megan. On the flip side of this, if y'all remember my video, while waiting to walk together, my spouse couldn't get me while I had the wrong women around me, and while other dudes, if I was entertaining other dudes trying to be in my face, like, my spouse could not walk off with me, right? I'm bringing this up because I just recently had some dreams, and it's crazy. I dream my husband is giving me, like, so much money all the time in my dreams. It'll be like, it's a bill, and I know I can't afford it. This was gonna go to the next video I'm gonna record. I know I cannot afford it. And they'll tell me the price in a dream, because the last time it happened was when I did coaching, and I was like, I can't afford this. Like, I cannot afford this. In real life, that's not what it was. I had to be smart with my money to pay for it. But the price they were giving me in the dream was like 6 figures. And I was like, who got that? And they were like, your husband can cover that. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to ask him. That's literally what happened. The recent dream, I needed money for something else. I know what it's for. And they told me the price, and I wasn't worried about it because I knew my husband had it. I'm like, how do I just know this man got this money in a dream? Like, this is crazy. And I know ultimately it's Jesus. I had that dream. I only told my mom and them, because you do got to be careful, because when people know you loaded in the spirit, when they know you rich and you wealthy, yes, the thieves gonna come. You got to have security on lock. You got to know how to pray. You got to have boundaries. You can't let stuff in your fortress. You got to be the spiritual shooter. You got to know these things, right? Like, baby, load it in the spirit. I only told my mom and them. That week, after I dreamt that week, 3 different females from my past reached out to me in a span of like 5 days, and I didn't answer none of them, because I already knew, like, no, like, that's when I absolutely not will fall upon my spirit, right? But I never noticed how I will have a dream for real like that, and this man just got this money to give me, got like, this is what you need, and here they come. Because they're gonna try, the enemy is gonna move through whoever he can, and it's gonna try to suck, siphon, steal, kill, destroy anything that God is blessing you with. And that you got to be put up on that spiritual game to recognize that, even if it's newfound joy, newfound peace, it don't got to be nothing for no business endeavor or venture, or, you know, you growing in your influence or whatever it is. He's gonna move through whoever he can. And in that week, literally 3 shorties from my past. Like, you ain't got nothing to talk to me about. I already learned that lesson with you the last time I came up on some blessings. Why would I let you back in here? And you just got to know that. And so just remember that with while waiting to walk together, okay? And when it comes to a man or a counterfeit, it really comes down to, like, what do you really want? Do you want your husband? Do you want who God has for you? Or do you want to entertain this other stuff? Okay? And you got to decide where you're at, okay? So I just wanted to share that with y'all because it's been a lot of stuff, and I didn't realize, like, sometimes I dream stuff, sometimes I sit on stuff and I don't say nothing, but I don't realize, like, what it actually did to me. I'm also in one of those seasons where I'm waking up and I just feel different. I wake up and it's like, what happened? He's changing me. What happened while I was asleep? You get what I'm saying? So again, just want to share that I got a bae who iced me out, okay? And he do whatever I want. He don't like to tell me no. Them the type of dudes I like. And that's because I'm not asking for much. That's because I am showing up and doing what I'm supposed to do. Proverbs 31 wise. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm spoiled. God spoiled me. My daddy spoiled me. You not finna come over here and unspoil me. And I'm definitely not finna let no snake in my midst and steal from me the things that I have been blessed with. Okay, so I love y'all. Here's to the wifey team. Okay, the kingdom do it different. I love it over here.